Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, and right off the bat, let's check in with Andrea Kramer. Andrea.
Hello, Al. Well, a couple of injury updates for the Colts. Pro Bowl safety Bob Sanders, who missed the last 5 games, will start. He worked out in pregame and said the knee felt good. As for the Patriots, they will be without 3 starters. Free safety Eugene Wilson, tight end Daniel Graham, and right guard Stephen Neal.
That's Sanders. That's a big addition for the Indianapolis Colts, because as Tony Dungy put it last night, he can be what he calls the eraser. Meanwhile, this guy erased a few New England opponents over the years. Adam Vinatieri, who's probably made as many clutch picks as anybody in the history of the NFL and had spent his entire career as a Patriot, left for a richer deal in Indianapolis. And Lawrence Maroney, their #1 draft choice out of Minnesota, who is really beginning to emerge, sharing time with Corey Dillon, and a guy who has run back kicks in each of the last 2 weeks longer than 70 yards, averaging 30 yards a run back to get it started. So here we go on a 31-degree night from Foxborough, Massachusetts. Vinatieri sends it down to the 2-yard line, and Kevin Falk goes back to get it. He'd been the up man, and Falk takes it back to the 20-yard line. That line providing great protection for Brady, opening the holes for a good running game. And they begin with Corey Dillon, who can't get out of the backfield. He is tackled for a loss of a couple. Bethea, a starter, was a 6th-round pick out of Howard. 2nd and 12, and Brady's first pass of the game is a little low and incomplete, and there's a flag as well. Rashae Caldwell, the intended receiver. The coverage on the play, Nick Harper. The pass bounced to him, in the first flag of the game. Ron Winter is the referee tonight to give us the call.
Pass interference. Offense number 87. A 10-yard penalty. Correction, half the distance to the goal. Repeat, 2nd down.
That's Caldwell.
Rashae Caldwell is the guy that caught the ball, and then you say, well, how did he get open? And then you see that this is how he gets open right there. He just pushes and then runs a hook. Now, what you try and do is really try and push that defensive back up the field and then come back, but you can't literally put your hands on him and push him. I'll tell you, Tom Brady feels a lot more comfortable with his wide receivers tonight than he did the last time we were here against Denver.
Oh boy, doesn't he? Caldwell, a one-time Charger, 2nd down and 18, and the ball is given to Dillon, who came over a couple of years ago after a sparkling start to his career as a Cincinnati Bengal. He takes it up to the 19-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 11.
Yeah, I think having Bob Sanders back for this Colt defense is such a big thing, because that front 7 isn't a very big group, and if you just run right at them, you know, you can get the yards in there, and that's how people do it. But if that safety can come up and be that 8th guy like Bob Sanders, that's the extra guy against the run. That
run defense very vulnerable. Teams are averaging 5.4 yards per carry against the Colts. And that pass is caught for a 1st down. So Benjamin Watson makes the catch, and after, because of the penalty, Brady was backed up 2nd and long. No problem. Watson, who had a big night the other night on Monday in Minnesota, picks up the first here.
Yeah, I think one of the underrated groups on this Patriot team is their offensive line. I mean, Tom Brady does outstanding things, but the outstanding pass protection on that allowed him to get the ball to Ben Watson for the 1st down.
And he was covered there by Mathis, the defensive end, who went back into coverage. Brady loves to spread it around. He hit 10 different guys against the Vikings 6 nights ago. Brady with the fake, and then the pass is caught on the slant. And this is Chad Jackson, a good-looking rookie out of the University of Florida, drafted in the 2nd round. He is tackled there by Jason David, and it will be a little bit short of a 1st down.
Doesn't Tom Brady just look like Mr. Cool? I mean, I used to say that about Joe Montana. He does the same thing that every other quarterback in the NFL does, but he makes it look so much easier.
Especially of late. Comes off a 4-touchdown performance over the Vikings. 2nd down and 1 here as they stack the formation, and they give it to their rookie Maroney, and Maroney for a 1st down across the 50 to the Indianapolis 45-yard line. That's a gain of 12 for Maroney.
I'll tell you, this guy Maroney is something special. Tony Dungy was talking about him last night. He said he really worries you because he's strong, and then he has the speed to go 80 yards. I mean, now that's good blocking there. I mean, then, a little poor tackling. Watch the left tackle here, Matt Light. He just takes Mathis right to the outside, and that allows Maroney to get through the hole.
Winter throwing the flag before the snap.
False start. Offense number 74. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
What that last play was, it was a wham, and the Patriots have been doing this where they bring the tight end in, and the tight end comes in and whams or traps the nose tackle.
First and 15 now. The ball back in New England territory on the game's opening drive. Patriots from the 49-yard line. Maroney is the running back. Watson is the man in motion. And Maroney over left guard. And again, Indianapolis, as I say, giving up 5.4 yards per carry. And when your run defense has that figure thrown up against them, that's terrible.
I was just talking about that wham play, and they come back with the same thing right here. You'll see here's Ben Watson here. Now he's going to come in and wham or trap the nose tackle. The nose tackle wonders, where in the heck is that coming from? He just waits right there and comes in and traps him.
Second down and 9 from the 44-yard line. Now Dillon. And Dillon with a little straight arm with Mathis takes it inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. There's no question the Colts, and it'll be determined, as we all know, in January in postseason because they've been so good during the regular season. But there they are, one of two teams starting with a 7-0 mark and giving up 100 or more rushing yards in each game. That's sort of a start tonight for them, John.
I was just going to say, you can see they're not a very big group, and they really can't handle that wham block, that man block, that anything power right at them. You can overpower them like the Patriots are doing right now.
Dillon, that's a first down. He takes it to the 34-yard line, and already the Patriots have 37 yards on the ground against Indianapolis.
Again, we're going to see, we talk about this wham. Now watch what they're doing. They're using their tight end like an extra lineman. Instead of having 5 linemen, they have the tight end coming in and blocking the interior defensive lineman of the Colts. That's something they haven't seen, and they wonder where in the heck is that Ben Watson coming from.
Maroney back in, so we're seeing Maroney, we're seeing Dillon, we're seeing a play fake. Great shoulder move there by Brady to buy time. He goes deep, and it's intercepted in the end zone. It's picked off by Bethea, and the rookie's going to run out of the end zone. And he's going to get away with it. Now he's looking to lateral the ball, and Dungy's heart is no doubt in his throat, but he takes it back out to the 31-yard line. So Bethea, in a situation where you almost never see the defensive back come out of the end zone that deep in the end zone, but he does, and he gives Indy the ball at the 31-yard line when we come back. Indy has the ball first time after the Bethea interception. 32-yard line, and Manning will go right to the air, and Manning's throw is knocked down by Rodney Harrison. Got a hand in front of Dallas Clark. Peyton Manning, and if you watch Indianapolis, you know that this is par for the course. They run the no huddle, not necessarily the hurry up, depending on the situation, but Manning makes all of the calls when they get to the line.
Yeah, he gets 3 plays from Tom Moore, 2 runs and a pass, and then calls the play from that grouping at the line of scrimmage.
And then the Patriot defense tries to counter. Movement on their side as well. They bunch up in the middle. Manning on second down and 10. In the pocket, throws to the outside. And that pass is incomplete, intended for Reggie Wayne, who came up with 3 touchdown receptions last week at Denver.
Yeah, we saw the Indianapolis no huddle. Now you watch the Colts on defense, and they also have to go with a no huddle. They just kind of line up in their position. They all come in. They get the play. They have to communicate. The corners stay out. The safeties kind of stay off. And the linebackers do the communicating with the defensive lineman in front of them and the secondary behind them.
3rd and 10. The Colts are 50% on 3rd and 10 or more, which is phenomenal because the league average is about 18%. And now it's going to be more than that because Tariq Glenn, the left tackle, was moving. And that should make it 3rd and 15, assuming it is the false start.
False start. Offense number 78. A 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Manning's numbers on 3rd down are simply phenomenal this season. 133 rating, 12 touchdowns, no picks, and as we say, they've converted on 3rd and 10 or longer 50% of the time this year.
That's because they're not afraid to throw the ball. You know, there's so many teams that, don't want to hold it, don't want to throw it deep, want to throw the checkdowns, the short passes. These guys will go vertical.
3rd and 15. Manning is pressured. Comes to the sideline. Launches one deep downfield. There are 2 guys there. It's Clark and Harrison both. And Harrison makes the catch, and Rodney Harrison is slow to get up. So you had 2 guys both in the same area after Manning had bought time, escaped the sack, came to the left sideline, throws against the grain, and Harrison is still down.
And Roosevelt Colvin really hit Peyton Manning just after he threw the ball. I mean, that's Peyton Manning. You always think of him that he's going to be in the pocket, he's going to do this, but watch this throw and this hit.
44 yards. Harrison off the field working on his right elbow or shoulder. Rodney missed most of last season, had knee surgery. That was a 44-yard completion, longest catch of the season for Harrison. And it's a first down for Indianapolis now at the New England 29. Chad Scott normally plays a corner, comes in to play Harrison's spot. And a false start here before the play develops. It'll be 1st and 15. We'll go back to the catch by Harrison.
You're going to see Marvin Harrison is outside. Dallas Clark is inside. Clark is going to make a scramble here. He thinks it's going to him. Harrison makes the same move. Harrison catches the ball right in front of Clark. And then Rodney Harrison, watch 37, Rodney Harrison, as he comes down right on his right shoulder.
So 1st and 15 now after the penalty at the 34-yard line. 8 minutes to play in the period, no score. New England's first drive ended with an interception. Now Dominique Rhodes goes to the outside. And Rhodes gets inside the 30 for the Colts this year. They let Edgerrin James go, and right now he's dwelling in anonymity with the Arizona Cardinals. So Rhodes, who had been there for a number of years, number 1 on the depth chart, but they also have a good-looking rookie by the name of Joseph Adai, and there he is, and we will see a lot of him tonight as he sees more and more action week after week.
And he's doing a good job in the passing game, because that's where Edgerrin James was so good. We always think of him as a runner, but he was also a good pass protector.
Second and 8.
I was just going to say, in this league, if you can't pass protect, you can't play running back.
And Rhodes stays in there to do his job with protection, and the pass is caught by Marvin Harrison. And when you think about Manning and Harrison, they've combined for more catches and more touchdown receptions, more per combination than any 2 in the history of the National Football League.
And they just work at it calmly. I mean, Marvin Harrison is always going to line up on the right side. He's not a slot. He's not motion. He's not. Reggie Wayne will always be on the left side, but they work there all the time, darn near to perfection.
Now here's Joseph Adai, the rookie out of LSU, taking it to the 14-yard line where Junior Seau trips him up. They loved, the Colts did, Lawrence Maroney in the draft, but he was not available. So they had other runners they were looking at. Adai was one of them. They needed somebody to come in and take the place of Edgerrin James. And so far, so good for a guy who spent most of his career playing for Nick Saban in Baton Rouge.
Here's Dallas Clark in the slot. That's a big thing they do. They keep Harrison up in the right side, Reggie Wayne in the left, Dallas Clark the tight end in the slot.
2nd and 6, protection is great, and that enables Harrison just to float over the middle and get free to pick up the first down. So Marvin Harrison has already caught 3 passes on this drive for 61 total yards, and it's first down and goal.
Yeah, we talked earlier about the protection now that Tom Brady had. Watch the protection that Peyton Manning gets here. And when he can stand back there and look left and look right and come back to the middle like this, he's going to kill you.
Nobody even got close to him. Well, they're protecting the crown jewel.
You know, we're also seeing 2 of the best centers in football in this game tonight. I mean, Jeff Saturday right here always protects the middle for Peyton Manning.
Here's a die looking for room to the outside first and cuts it back in and is tackled at the 5-yard line about 10 minutes into the period. It'll be second down and goal.
You know, and this is where the Colts have been so good. I mean, that when they get down here in the red area or the red zone, they usually get the ball into the end zone.
This drive began back at the 32-yard line after the Fayette interception. Second down and goal. Harrison goes in motion and then goes back the other way. Adai is the running back. The fake to Adai. The pass to the end zone. Touchdown, Marvin Harrison. So last Sunday, it was Reggie Wayne's day, and Harrison was the guy who caught a few balls for not much yardage, and Wayne was the star. But Marvin Harrison tonight stills this crowd, and I mean it is silent right now. 4 catches on that drive for 66 yards. They go 68 yards total for the touchdown.
You watch Marvin Harrison here. He started out right. I said he doesn't come in motion much. He comes in motion, goes back out, comes back in. Ellis Hobbs was supposed to cover him. He wasn't even close.
And then Vinatieri, now in the enemy uniform, boots the extra point. 4.5 to play in the opening period. First blood drawn by the Colts. 7-0 Indianapolis. At the Meadowlands, 1 week from tonight. What a beauty that will be. The Chicago Bears knocked off today by Miami, but 7-1 coming in, and the Giants had their hands full, but eventually took care of the Houston Texans. Maroney to run the kickback, and the Minnesota rookie brings it back out to the 32-yard line. New England goes to work from that spot with 4:22 remaining in the opening period. Manning and the Colts up by 7. Now the Patriots on their second drive. The first pass is a high pass that is juggled and caught by Troy Brown, who before the night is done will eclipse the record for most receptions by a Patriot. That just has tied Stanley Morgan's mark, but we have a flag on the play. So let's see if it counts. Ron Winter with the call here.
This could take a while.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, taunting, number 80, offense, a 15-yard penalty. Second down.
Ron is deliberate, but Brown is going to be penalized. The catch was made along the sideline, but then the taunting call. And let's see if we can pick it up on the replay.
You know, 14-year vets, what Troy Brown is, you usually don't taunt. I think that's what he's saying.
Where is that taunt?
The only thing that I can think of is Gilbert Gardner was standing there. You see him right there, 51. And he kind of stands there, and he's saying it's out of bounds. And I think he kind of tossed the ball at him lightly.
First and 19. And that's a catch made by Maroney out in the flat. He's tackled there by Robert Mathis.
But Troy Brown isn't the kind of guy that taunts. I mean, he's not one of the wide receiver talker type guys in this league. But you see it right here, and he's okay there.
Yeah, well, he's trying to throw it to the official. Well,
I don't know about that because the official you thought he was trying to throw it to is the guy that threw the flag.
Second down and 20, and down the sideline. That is caught by Doug Gabriel, who started the season with the Raiders and was traded here. And Brady didn't even know Gabriel until he got here. So these two guys who've only known each other for a couple of months have all of a sudden become a very potent pair.
Boy, and that when that safety comes over and makes that play, if we could just stop it right here, you'll see the window. There's the corner and the safety. Bob Sanders is the safety. He gets over there a little too late. And it's a window on that cover 2 between the rotated corner and the safety that's coming over.
39-yard gain on what was a third down and 20, and now Dillon for 9 yards. Corey Dillon takes it to the 30-yard line.
They think that they can trap because that's what they're doing. Logan Mankins, the left guard, made a good trap block on that play.
Corey Dillon now in his 10th year, and that's getting up, of course, for a running back. But the great thing now is that they can spell him with Maroney, and they've had Maroney coming in and out, and Dillon. They're almost interchangeable in a way, and it should, you would think, help to keep Dillon a little bit fresher. Maroney will pick up the first down here as he's tripped up by Jason David.
Yeah, Dillon is the starter, but I think Maroney is quickly becoming the guy. I think if you know, and you talk to defenses, you know what they have to do with their run defense, and they worry about Lawrence Maroney. I think that, you know, Dillon starts and they rotate and they do all those things, but if Maroney's not the guy right now, he's going to be the guy shortly.
Maroney averaging 4.2 per carry this season. Dillon comes in averaging 3.9. Maroney stays in. Maroney cuts it back. And Maroney is taken down at the 25-yard line. Nick Harper up from the corner.
You know, one of the problems that the Colts have with that run defense is they have two smaller ends in Dwight Freeney and Robert Mathis, and they both have good quickness, and they both get up the field. Now, when they get up the field and you pin the tackle there, you kind of have a hole inside of them, and that's usually where people run. When they're defensive ends, these guys get up the field, then you run inside of those two defensive ends, pin the tackle.
Second down and 8. Freeney with that spin move, but they block him out of the play. The pass is incomplete, and there is no flag as Caldwell looked for it. And Harper said, yeah, you're not going to get a flag. It was great coverage.
Talking to Tom Brady, he feels comfortable with these receivers down. Riche Caldwell is one of the guys he feels comfortable with. He hit him. He had to catch that ball. I mean, I don't think that's pass interference. I thought that was a pretty good throw that he let get too close to his body. He should have caught that.
Third down and 8. Brady developing great chemistry with pretty much a new core of receivers, missing his two top guys from last year. Third down and 8. The pass is a little bit low and taken off the shoe tops by Kevin Falk, but he is stopped at the 19-yard line, and they will have to settle for a field goal attempt, but you never know with Belichick.
Well, I think when you're playing the Colts and you're playing Peyton Manning, and Bill Belichick has done it before, that you have to score points, you need touchdowns, and when you get in this area on fourth down, you go for it. Now, if it were a normal game and you were just playing another normal team, I would say you kick the field goal here. I think playing the Patriots, you have to score points. I agree with this play that you go for it on fourth down.
You don't see this very often on fourth down and 3. Brady rolling, throwing, got it. Falk inside the 10. First and goal as the seconds tick down to the end of the quarter. So on fourth and 3, Belichick, knowing he's going to need a lot of points tonight, picks up the first down. And that's the way the second quarter will begin. First and goal for the New England Patriots. 7-0 Indianapolis after 1. Sunday Night Football back after these messages. Indianapolis leading 7-0. They've had the ball once. They went down the field. And now New England trying to counter. And fourth and 3, the respect they show for Manning, and also not a bad defense to try to go and convert on a fourth and 3.
Yeah, I think that Bill Belichick knows we don't need field goals here.
And they get 4 yards here from Corey Dillon, taking it to the 1. And it will be 2nd down and goal. Already had, in the first quarter alone, a total of 217 yards of total offense between these two teams.
We see an old Bill Belichick type thing down here, where we see Mike Vrabel, the linebacker, come in and play tight end. And they will throw to him, too.
And they give it to Dillon, and Dillon, with that left shoulder, angles his way into the end zone. So they convert on 4th down and 3. They start this drive at their own 32-yard line. And as did the Colts, they go 68 yards. On this drive, they converted a 3rd and 20 and a 4th and 3.
Yeah, you're going to see the rookie Ryan O'Callahan in here now at right tackle. Ben Watson get good blocks on that right side right there. You see they get a good seal. They take 2 guys and they give Dillon that soft corner.
Steven Gostowski, the rookie who takes the spot vacated when Vinatieri left for Indianapolis. Tacks on the extra point. 35 ticks into the second quarter. We're tied at 7 in Foxborough. Indianapolis to get the ball for the second time. Gostowski to kick off. Terrence Wilkins will run it back. Fielding at the goal line. Hit hard at the 18-yard line by Corey Mays, who was just activated off the practice squad tonight and makes his presence felt. 14:20 left in the first half. 7-7. Now their second possession. Joseph Adai starts as the running back from the 18-yard line.
Chad Scott is at the safety now, and Ellis Hobbs is at the left corner.
Rodney Harrison still out of the game, and Reggie Wayne will pick up the first down here. And Andrea, what's the update on Harrison?
Well, he's got a right arm injury, and the Patriots called his return probable, but they took him to the locker room, and he has not yet emerged, Al.
There was the injury. He was tackling Marvin Harrison. Came down on the arm. So he's back in the locker room, and that means Chad Scott, who can play either corner or safety, will take Harrison's spot. You've got Hobbs and Samuel on the outside. 1st and 10. The ball is at the 36-yard line. Last play to Wayne was good for 18 yards. Here's a dive. Looking for room. And works his way just about back to the line of scrimmage where Junior Seau, who had retired earlier this season and then came out of retirement after about a 3-day absence to sign with New England, makes the stop.
Yeah, this run didn't have a chance. You're going to see Mike Vrabel here. He was blitzing on that play, and he got penetration to the side to kind of come. See, he blows the whole thing up about 4 yards into the backfield. And then Adai had to come up and bounce outside of that pile caused by Vrabel.
2nd and 11. Pressure on Manning. He's hit as he throws, gets it away. Wayne comes back, and Wayne makes the catch at the 48-yard line. So Manning under pressure. Didn't get everything he wanted on it, but got enough that Wayne could see the pressure that Manning was getting. Came back to make the catch, and that's a 16-yard gain.
I don't think Junior Seau can believe that he gets rid of that ball. What's Seau? He's right there as he goes to throw it, and he's going after his arm. And not only does Peyton Manning get rid of the ball, but he completes the pass.
Colvin was there as well. The two of them bearing down on Manning, who has started the game 6 out of 8, and Peyton has already thrown for 100 yards.
I mean, that's what they feel they have to do, the Patriots, is get pressure right up the middle on Manning.
A dive behind Glenn to the left side, to the short side of the field. Turns that into a gain of about 7. He's tackled there by the outside linebacker, Colvin.
Yeah, and that's the Colts stretch play where they run the ball to the numbers and then cut it up. I always say, if you don't get the nose tackle, you can't run. This time, they don't get the nose tackle, but when you're going in a stretch, you can run away from them. Watch what Wilfork does here. I mean, he gets penetration in that backfield, and you better be getting to the outside on your stretch play.
Second down, short 3 from just outside the 41-yard line. A dive, and he's going to be taken down from behind. Warren got a big arm around him, and it'll be 3rd down and 2.
Again, that's a nose tackle. I think you can run the stretch play, but as I said, Vince Wilfork is a real load in there, and he takes everything on right in the middle. And if you don't get movement on that nose tackle, you can't run to the inside. That play, they didn't get any movement.
Pass play, a base 3 for him, with a lot of variations and a lot of different looks and a lot of disguising. 3rd and 3 out of the shotgun. Manning to Clark, and Clark with a flag down gets planted by Vrabel after breaking a junior Seau tackle. For the moment, a 1st down, but Ron Winter's crew, per usual, pretty active tonight, will get the call.
Illegal contact. Defense number 30. Penalties declined. The play results in a 1st down.
Chad Scott with the penalty.
That's one of the things that the Patriots and Bill Belichick always believed that they could do against this team is be physical. And they want to hit their receivers. They want to jam Dallas Clark inside. They want to hit Marvin Harrison outside, Reggie Wayne outside, jam them on the line of scrimmage in those first 5 yards. That's kind of been their key to success over the years against the Colts.
Manning plants, throws, caught. Wayne to the 1-yard line. Wayne got inside position on Asante Samuel, and Manning put it right on the numbers.
Isn't that something, the way he puts it right on the numbers? I mean, watching these two quarterbacks is everything we thought it would be. And watch, here's Reggie Wayne. He's outside there, and he has an in from Dallas Clark. Then he runs the post, and as you say, Peyton Manning put it right on his numbers.
1st down and goal. Inside 10 minutes, and here's a dive for the touchdown. And the last time the Patriots allowed touchdowns to an opponent on the opponent's first 2 drives, a year ago against the Colts here. When Indy won the game, 40-21.
Peyton Manning goes down, and then Brady comes in and trumps him, and then Manning comes back and trumps him. Here we see a die here. He gets deep, but that's good blocking there. I mean, they just get on, and they just get a push on that Colt defense. No one really touches him as he goes in there.
Vinatieri, the booing is for Vinatieri. They feel he's a bit of a traitor, leaving for the better contract. Comes back in the white and blue, tacks on the extra point. 9:56 remaining in the opening half. Indy with the lead again. Before that day and night are done, you'll also see Football Night in America and the Bears and the Giants. Here's Maroney. Out past the 30, and Maroney, who's averaging 30 yards a run back, brings it out to the 35-yard line. 9:48 remaining in the first half in Foxborough. Indianapolis 14, New England 7.
Each and every year, they're the team on top. They're the team to beat. Their offensive machine. It's tough to stop those with improved defense. But every time you can beat the Colts, it's always that much sweeter.
Rodney pretty much talking about the Indy offense, because the team to beat has more often than not, of course, in this decade, been the New England Patriots with those 3 Super Bowl titles. From the 34-yard line, Brady on 1st down. Guns it over the middle. Caught. Caldwell. That'll be a 1st down to the 46-yard line. And, John, we go back to Deion Branch had become the go-to guy, but he had a contract dispute. Eventually winds up traded to Seattle. They let David Givens go. They've never had a Randy Moss or a Terrell Owens or a guy like that. But all of a sudden, here's Brady. You can throw anybody out there, and he finds them.
Well, like Bill Belichick was saying the other night, someone said that, who's Brady's favorite receiver? And he said his favorite receiver is the open guy.
He's already hit 7 different guys tonight. He gives this to Maroney, who breaks a tackle. And Maroney, who is initially stopped at the line of scrimmage by Jason David, turns that into a 7-yard gain.
You know, Maroney's going to be something special in this league because he has that combination of quickness and moves and vision and feel and all those things, and then he can run 80 yards after that. I mean, he has the speed, and those guys are very, very difficult. He's a lot like Clinton Portis, is that type of runner.
Maroney, and gets tripped up this time, coming up from the secondary. That's Bob Sanders. No gain. Earlier in the year, Brady, it just took a while to really get into sync. And we were here on that Sunday night when they lost to Denver, their only loss. But as you can see, through the weeks, getting more and more familiar with the receivers, getting more on the same page. Had a great performance on Monday at Minnesota, but getting better by the week over the last 6 games.
All he has to do is get comfortable with his guys, know where they're going to be, because he will put the ball on them.
Here's Maroney on a 3rd and 3. And a flag comes in at the end of the play. He picks up the first down, and the umpire throws the flag.
Illegal use of hands to the face. Defense number 59. 5-yard penalty and a first down.
Cato June.
You're going to see from Skycam, you see the wham is right there, but watch that block by Billy Yates, the right guard. Watch him come out right here, number 74, get on this guy, and he gets Bob Sanders 5 yards deep. That's the answer. The Colts' answer to stopping the run is to bring Bob Sanders up. Yates' answer to Sanders was to get on him.
Yates taking the place of the would-be starter, Stephen Neal, who's hurt. Here's Maroney. You get the feeling at this point, 2 guys who will not need showers at the end of this game are the punters.
Right. Because neither defense is going to stop the other offense, and you just feel that when the Patriots get the ball, they're just going to go on down and score, and then when Peyton Manning and the Colts get it back, they're going to go on down and score.
Josh Miller is the Patriot punter. Hunter Smith, the Colt punter. Just want to mention their names because we're liable not to see them tonight. 2nd down and 6. Maroney goes to the 20-yard line. Funny as you look at Tony Dungy, 6 years at Tampa, now in his 5th year at Indianapolis, and of course his pedigree is defense, and he did such a phenomenal job at Tampa. And here at Indianapolis, he inherits this and enhances a phenomenal offense, and it's the defense that they're just trying to get right.
Yeah, and he hasn't gotten the big or dominant guy on the defensive line, nor the great dominant defensive linebacker like he had with his defense in Tampa.
3rd down and 4. Brady slings it to the outside. That's going to be a first down and a brand new record for Troy Brown, who has now caught more passes than any Patriot in history, eclipsing the mark held by Stanley Morgan. 535 catches for Troy Brown, who's been a Pat since 1993, saluted by Bob Kraft and his family. And for Brown, you think about all he's done through the years, running back kicks, a receiver, and he can also play defensive back.
Right, and he's gone from the 5th wide receiver and defensive back to the starting wide receiver again.
Now Falk, he'll take it to the 7-yard line. And you look at the Patriots, I mean, here's Brown. The venerable Brown, he's in there. All these receivers. You bring in Gabriel from Oakland. You bring in Caldwell from San Diego. You bring in the rookie Maroney. You have Dillon. Then you throw Falk into the game. It's like it's a never-ending stream.
Well, they use 6 core guys, and that would be the quarterback, 5 offensive linemen. Then they use 12 other guys to play the other 5 positions.
Now Corey Dillon on 2nd and 2, and he's going to get wrestled to the turf, setting up 3rd and short. Raheem Brock, number 79, with a tackle.
Isn't it something? You get Tony Dungy on one side, a defensive coach, Bill Belichick on the other side, a defensive coach, and their defenses let them down, it seems like, every week, but they both have the best quarterback in football.
Yep. And thus a shootout of sorts.
Thus, they become offensive geniuses quickly.
3rd and 2, and Brady's going to sneak it himself and pick up the first down. So Brady's first rush of the night sets up a first down and goal.
I think that's something that he just calls on his own. Anytime the quarterback gets up there and he doesn't see anyone in this gap, if there's no linebacker standing right there, he can just bump the center right there, just take the ball and go and pick up the first down. Brady had a pretty good drive there. You know, he's working with weights, and he says one of the things he's really trying to strengthen is his legs, and not just the quarterback sneak, but, you know, to put more velocity on the ball.
Van Kopen, a good guy to get behind. Cutback. Dillon. Corey Dillon in for the touchdown. "66 yards, 11 plays." He just does get in.
Look at this cut that he makes here. He sees everything on that right side where he can't go, and then he just comes back to the left side.
Ball broke the plane before the knee went down. The rookie out of Memphis, Steven Gostkowski, will try to tie the game. Josh Miller to hold it. So Manning goes down the field. Brady says, "I have an answer for you." And we've got a great ball game. 4:14 left in the half. 14 all. That's the Meadowlands. That's Sunday night, a week from tonight, as the second half of the season begins. The first half concluding tonight in the 8th game of the year for both of these teams. The ball is taken by Terrence Wilkins. Out past the 20, and Wilkins with a great run back, breaking tackles, and finally they get him at about the 30-yard line. Mike Wright runs him down. So Wilkins, who had been a Colt, went away. They brought him back in preseason this year with a big run back.
I thought this was going to be good coverage, too, because the ball stayed in the air so long. But you see, it was a wedge right return. Wilkins, the wedge started to the right. Wilkins got right in behind him, broke through the wedge, then he was right up the sideline. You see the wedge right there, and then he gets into the wedge. When he comes out to the wedge, the only thing left there is the kicker.
And then Mike Wright, who is 6'4" and 295, is the guy who hustled all the way down the field, will finally knock him down. From the 29-yard line, Manning working with a short field. That almost seems unfair. And a flag is thrown. He threw it into a lot of coverage, but when you see Marvin Harrison go down, you're normally going to see a flag. Chad Scott is the guy I think they're going to flag for this.
Right, and when you see Peyton Manning walking like that down towards the 10-yard line, you know
Defense number 30. Penalized at the spot of the foul, and a first down.
And you're going to see, I mean, see how quick Marvin Harrison is off that line. I mean, that guy comes up there, wants to be physical with him, and can't even touch him on the bump. And then he gets up to that second level on that safety.
First and goal. Adai. Tackled there by Junior Seau. Junior Seau, 17th year, of course, made his mark as a San Diego Charger, went to Miami, announced his retirement, and got a call from Rodney Harrison, among others here in New England, who said, "Get up here." And they signed him.
Yeah, he's a smart guy. I mean, he's played inside, he's played outside. There, he's just getting right up on that guard, taking a shoulder and getting a penetration. That's what a guy like Junior will do. Use his leverage to take the shoulder of a guard. Don't take him square.
Second down and goal from the 8-yard line. And Manning gets pressured as he turned around. It was Seau who comes in, and Vrabel as well at the end. So they put the heat on Peyton and sack him for the first time tonight.
You know, and that's a Bill Belichick thing. When you get down here, we have to put the pressure on him. And you see Junior Seau coming straight up the middle. Vrabel coming from the outside. He gets by the guard, keeps going outside, has the quickness to get back. When Peyton Manning saw that 55 coming in his face, he just said, I've had enough of that play. I want to live to play another one. And he went down.
Only the 8th time in the entire season that he has been sacked once a game. And Manning is going to take a timeout prior to a 3rd and goal at the 17-yard line. Game tied at 14, 2:48 to the half. Manning and the Colts. Brady and the Patriots on Sunday Night Football. And living up to the billing. Brady 9 of 11 for 113. Manning 8 of 10 for 140. After the Indy timeout, 3rd down and goal from the 17-yard line.
The Patriots have 2 defensive linemen in here now.
Manning out of the gun. Leaves 2 guys in for protection and a flag. Wayne, the intended receiver. Asante Samuel with the coverage on the play. But you can tell with the body language of Hawkins and Samuel, it's going to be defensive interference.
Yeah, if it's holding, it's just an automatic 1st down, 5 yards. If it's interference, the ball will be on the 1-yard line.
And that is the reason for the discussion. In either event, it's going to be a 1st down.
Asante Samuel hit him after the 5
Illegal
yard.
contact. Defense number 22. A 5-yard penalty and a 1st down.
5-yard penalty, but as we say, a 1st down on a defensive foul. So instead of 3rd and goal from the 17, 1st down now from the 12.
Yeah, see, Asante Samuel is way back there. Now, I don't know if the ball was in the air, that should have been pass interference. And because Asante Samuel intercepted the ball, you know.
Yep. Look at Belichick. Belichick all the way down there he is at the 14-yard line. Now that should be a penalty, but they're not going to call it. Manning throws. Wayne makes the catch, and Wayne is ridden out of bounds at the 6-yard line by Asante Samuel.
Excuse me, Albert. Bill Belichick's still down there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's down there on the 12-yard line now. Yeah, the official finally came over to him and said, hey, get back. He wants to get his word in that shouldn't have been a penalty, that should have been an interception.
Well, they gave him a pass there. He said they wanted to. They could have flagged Belichick.
But I don't know how he could argue that wasn't a penalty. And Asante Samuel grabbed him. It was just, did he grab him before the ball was in the air or not? Either way, it had to be a penalty against the Patriots.
2-minute warning. 2nd and 5 at the 7 when we come back. First half.
Why wouldn't you want to talk to players from the winning side?
That's a good point.
Both those guys lost the game. But anyway, you know where they get in a bind here, this Patriot defense, is you want to pressure Peyton Manning, but if you do, then that puts your corners man-to-man on the outside, and believe me, they can't handle that.
2nd and 3 at the 5. Colts have 2 timeouts. Manning to the back of the end zone, and that is incomplete with Reggie Wayne, the intended receiver, and Asante Samuel right there covering on the play.
Yeah, he played that one well because that's where he knew exactly where the ball was going to go, because where you want to throw this is to that 2nd pylon, the back pylon there. Peyton Manning does it. Asante Samuel knows that he's going there, and he defends not only Reggie Wayne, but that back pylon.
As usual, Wayne almost all the time lining up to the left. Harrison almost all the time lining up to the right. You've got Dallas Clark in the slot to the right. On 3rd down and 3, Adai is the running back. Manning sliding, throwing, and that's incomplete. So the secondary does its job. Wayne, the intended receiver, and they're able to keep him out of the end zone.
Yeah, he was trying to go to Marvin Harrison underneath, and I think that Mike Vrabel got there and did a good job. He was trying to go to the right side. I think he was trying to go over here. You see Harrison come right in there. That's where he was trying to go. You see Vrabel hit him. and then he had to take his eyes off him, and then by the time he came back, he just had to throw the ball away. But Mike Vrabel made that defensive play for the Patriots.
Vinatieri getting a Johnny Damon type welcome home. 23-yard field goal attempt by the expatriate, and a lot of people around here think he is an expatriate. In another way, 17-14, Indianapolis. There are the numbers, with Manning leading his team to 2 touchdowns and a field goal, and Brady leading his team to a couple of touchdowns. A couple of artists at work. You know, this is kind of like, without overhyping it, it's sort of like Van Gogh and Michelangelo in a paint-off.
Yeah, and you hate to be the defense because you're trying to react to those types of things. And I know when the Colts are on defense, they try and get Bob Sanders up there to help with the run, and then Tom Brady just goes play pass, and he has one-on-one on the outside, and he eats that up. And then Peyton Manning, they say we want to pressure him, we want to rush him, we want to blitz him up the middle. Then to do that, you have to leave your corners hanging out and those wide receivers. So these great quarterbacks put the defenses in a real bind.
Vinatieri to kick off. Lawrence Maroney to run it back. And Maroney takes it out to the 38-yard line. I think the other thing, John, that's great about something like this is so often in sports, something gets hyped, and you can't wait. And a lot of times it fizzles. But, then there are things like Hagler Hearns.
Yeah.
And it's Brady against Manning. You wait for it, and the first half has lived up to all expectations.
Yeah, because they're legitimate. I mean, there's nothing there that you have to say there's hype or, geez, I hope the way he played the way he did last week. And these guys are both the real deal, and they bring it week after week after week.
From the 38-yard line, Brady spins around and then is lucky that wasn't picked off. Benjamin Watson was the initial intended receiver. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
That looks like a play left over from Charlie Weiss, doesn't it?
Yes.
I mean, when Charlie was there, the Patriots probably ran more screen passes than anyone in football, and then they had fake the screen to one side, throw it to the other side, all those types of things, just like Tom Brady just ran on that last play. But with this Colt defense, to be honest, I don't think they need that kind of stuff.
2nd down and 10. Brady hangs in, throws over the middle. Falk makes the catch. He's up to the 43. New England has all of its timeouts. Won't need them yet. Minute and a half, plenty of time.
And this is when Tom Brady's coolness shows. And we know that the Colts are no huddle. Now the Patriots are also no huddle.
3rd down and 4 from the 44. Swings it out to Falk. Can he get the first down? He stopped a little short of the first down by Nick Harper. And now a timeout will be taken here by the New England Patriots. What does Belichick do on a 4th and 1 from midfield? Timeout. Indy took the timeout on defense. Now, Bill Belichick, if he goes for it and more than lines up to try to draw them offside, this is a very big gamble. He took one before earlier on the 4th and 3 when he knew he needed a touchdown instead of a field goal. But if you don't make it here, you're going to give Manning the ball on a 47-yard field with a minute to play. Huge play here. 4th and 1. And will they get it? Brady himself. And it doesn't. Well, Ron Winter comes in and says he's across the line. And the Colts are screaming, hey, how can you do that? You don't even measure. What's going on?
Oh, that was a big play if they get a first down here, because I agreed with you that they probably should have punted here.
But how about Winter coming in on a play where you can't even see where the ball winds up? Doesn't even bring the chains in. Here it is again.
He has to look where that official spotted it, where he put his foot.
Oh, man.
Oh, I don't know, because, again, it's where the ball is. The official has to come in and put his foot down right where Brady has the ball. Here he doesn't have it there. It's not close to it yet.
No. I don't see where he picked it up.
No, that yellow line is not official, but, of course, that would be the first down. I don't think he has it.
No, and it's not challengeable. We're in the last 2 minutes. The guys upstairs may stop the action here. We're being told they are. Yeah, it's all right. Winter finally announces it because it's not challengeable.
Being reviewed. Check progress for a first down.
Inside 2 minutes, but the guys upstairs are going to see what you just saw and determine from those angles where it is. Booth review back in a second. So again, if Winter rules it's not a first down, you're going to give Manning the ball on the 48-yard line with 1 timeout and 56 seconds, which is an eternity for Peyton.
Yeah, that was a tough decision for Bill Belichick, again, because of the respect to Peyton Manning. You say, we want to go for it on 4th down.
Play results in a first down. Because the play was challenged by the replay, New England's timeout is restored. Therefore, there is no charged timeout for New England.
So they restore the timeout, which is the way you have to do, I mean, you tell me, among other things, if Winter comes back and he puts the ball down, they've already moved the chains. So where do you start with the chains? How do you come out and measure again?
Yeah, you don't. I mean, that's why there was nothing that he could look at that would make him change that call.
So it's
including the chains being moved already.
Easier to let the play stand.
I think he probably had to.
Yeah. I mean, there were no chains to measure with at that point. Anyway, first down, 48-yard line. New England, all of its timeouts remaining, all 3. Brady stepping up, over the middle, into traffic, drop. Almost intercepted. Benjamin Watson, the intended receiver. No play here, no run back. Incomplete pass.
I'll tell you, it's an incomplete pass, but that was a great throw by Tom Brady. I mean, it was one of those that 99% of the quarterbacks in the NFL wouldn't throw. When you have that much confidence, that's the definition of open. I mean, there was a guy behind him, a guy on each side of Ben Watson, but he still threw it in there to him and got the ball on him. I mean, Ben Watson should have caught that ball.
2nd and 10 out of the shotgun. Four-man line, 4-man rush, inside handoff, draw. They give it to Kevin Falk. He's across the 50 to the 48-yard line. And the Patriots will spend a timeout here prior to a 3rd down and 6. Joining us a little bit late. Pulse of the game right here. Tom Brady. Very efficient and effective. Peyton Manning as well. 2 touchdowns and a field goal. Rodney Harrison left the game with a right arm injury. Marvin Harrison catching 4 balls, including a touchdown pass on the first drive. Patriots play selection, 22 rushes, both touchdowns coming on the ground. It's 3rd down and 6 now from the 48-yard line after the New England timeout.
Yeah, and I think if I were the Patriots right now, I would do like they did against the Minnesota Vikings, have Tom Brady getting a shotgun, spread them out, have good spacing with your receivers, and just hit the open guy.
1 timeout remaining.
Winter saying New England has 1 timeout remaining at the 48-yard line. 3rd down and 6. Brady under pressure, nearly gets sacked, still being chased, throws, coming back to make the grab is Troy Brown. Dwight Freeney came in and Freeney couldn't sack him. Dwight, who does not have a full sack all season, just a half sack last week, couldn't get him to the ground, and a timeout is taken here in injury with Troy Brown.
And Tom Brady can't run, but he can do enough to make a play to help his team win. I mean, watch him here. He's trying to throw the ball there. He brings it back, gets control of it, comes off here. He's running away from a rush and throws that ball to Troy Brown. That's your quarterback staying alive. What the Patriots do down here is they run crossing patterns. That's hard because the Colts play all that cover 2 with the corners up and the safeties off, and it's hard to get that deep one in the window all the time, but you can run crossing patterns.
Winter inadvertently and incorrectly gave New England, by the way, the timeout back when that wasn't in the rules. That's why they only have one. Brady throws into traffic down the middle, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Bob Sanders on the pass intended for Watson. And Bob Sanders, who was a game-time decision as to whether he'd play or not, coming back from his arthroscopic knee surgery with the pick here with 17 seconds remaining in the half.
Yeah, we're talking about cover 2 where the corners are up and the safeties are off, and that's a cover 2 beater where you try and get your tight end in the middle, and that's what they're doing with Ben Watson back here. And you see Brackett, the middle linebacker, runs with him. He pushes off him a little, and here comes Sanders, who is a deep safety, playing off. He comes around there and picks it off. I'll tell you who did a real good job is Gary Brackett, the middle linebacker, 58 there, running with Watson all the way. Like Watson had to push off him a little, but he let Bob Sanders get over and make that interception.
That the ball was intercepted, then the player was down by contact at the 3-yard line.
Well, that won't matter much because they can run out the clock. But that's the first time this season that Brady has thrown 2 picks in a game.
And like I said, I don't think he expected the middle linebacker, and that's what in that Tampa 2 that middle linebacker does. And sometimes instead of a cover 2 with an open middle, you have to play it like a cover 3 that has a safety there.
New England without a timeout, so they can't stop the clock. And Manning simply with a kneel down, but a good first half. Little ragged finish to the half, but Manning and Brady both doing their numbers tonight. 17-14 at the half. Now time for the Toyota halftime show. Bob Costas in New York.
Peyton Manning is that rare quarterback where you have to defend every single inch of the field.
He practices like there's no tomorrow. He just wants everything to be perfect.
He's intelligent, he's tough, he's smart, he has great field awareness, and he has a rocket arm.
Tom Brady is just a winner. He will do anything it takes to win a football game.
He really is sharp mentally, and if you're not prepared, he's going to take advantage of that.
He demands a lot out of us, and we take it all to heart, so he's definitely the leader on that side of the ball.
You can't go wrong with either of them. They're both awesome.
Whenever you got a guy like that as your leader, you're just ready to go in the foxhole with him.
And now we start the second half in Foxborough. Al Michaels, John Madden, and Andrea Kramer with you on this chilly 31-degree early November Sunday night. And the comparison right there, Manning with 1 touchdown pass that came to Marvin Harrison. Brady, for the first time this season, picked off twice. Brady, you watch the game and you say 53.2. Looked like he played better than that.
Yeah, I think towards the end of the half he was pressing a little. I think that Peyton Manning making big plays, that he was trying to force the ball deep too much, I think.
Now Wilkins to run back the kick. Indianapolis will get the ball to start the second half. He's tackled to the 31. We go to Andrea.
Well, Al, I talked to Tony Dungy walking off the field. He said that the Patriots are doing more blitzing than they expected, and that was bothering them. He said they have to block it better and also hit more one-on-one matchups on the outside. He also said the Patriots know they have to outscore us. They're doing uncharacteristic things, and Tom Brady is pressing.
They sure did. They went for it on a 4th and 3, and that led to a touchdown. Then they went 4th and 1 and did convert, but at the end of the half, that drive ended in an interception.
And I think the one that Brady pressed on was that deep post to Ben Watson when he had nothing there.
Manning off play action, throws a strike to Harrison, and Marvin Harrison will dance out of bounds at the 33-yard line. And Manning and Marvin Harrison tonight have combined for 5 pass receptions and 832 in their career.
We showed their pregame ritual, how they come out at 2 hours early and they run through these patterns. Then the game starts, they get good pass protection. They just do the same thing that they did in sweats about 3 hours ago.
Making it look very simple, just like that, a 36-yard chunk. Joseph Adai. A yard, maybe two, close to the 30-yard line.
You watch Peyton Manning, and to me, the things that he does are just amazing. I mean, not only, his throwing the ball, but, his command of the game plan, his command of, what his team is doing, what the defenses are doing. He's one of the sharpest quarterbacks, I think, that has ever played in the NFL, ever.
Doing it without a running game. They've rushed tonight for 20 yards. Manning has thrown for 183.
See how the back, Joseph Adai, has to come up with him so he can hear the audible.
2nd and 8. Manning under pressure, and that pass is incomplete. Heat coming from his left side. Peyton Manning, who came into the game with a 108 passer rating, rolling left, and this was a thing of beauty right there, on a 3rd down and 15 to Marvin Harrison. And Harrison was able to catch 4 balls on that first drive, including that touchdown reception there. He and Harrison now with a total of 98 career touchdown passes.
That's the one I thought was his best throw, was that last one, that post to Reggie Wayne.
They've got him down deep, and they cashed in again. 3rd down and 8. Manning throwing for the end zone and knocked away. Great acrobatic leap by Ellis Hobbs to save a touchdown, and you've got a flag down. Flag back down at the 18-yard line.
You see Marvin Harrison on that play. He told Hobbs, good play.
Illegal hands to the face. Defense number 50.
Or maybe he didn't.
5-yard penalty.
You guys have a penalty.
First down.
That was away from the play, and that was Mike Vrabel, number 50, away from the action with the penalty and an automatic first down.
Vrabel had a big play in the first half when he picked off Marvin Harrison coming across, and that's probably what he did on that last play. There's number 50 Vrabel there. That's okay. That's legal. That's everything. He didn't do anything. The only guy that he bumped coming across was the guy in the same colored jersey.
Phantom of the Opera call.
Yeah.
3-yard gain for Joseph Adai to the 23. You'd think Vrabel would have been more upset at the end of that play.
Well, he was talking the other day about how, Peyton Manning prepares, and you have to not only match his team physically, but you have to match it mentally. And I think, if you complain about a play into the next play, the next play, and the next play, then you're not concentrating on the one they're doing. And Mike Vrabel is not a guy that would do that.
And Manning's the guy who would pick that up if he did it. 2nd down and 8. Manning throws. Wayne comes back to make the catch and loses the ball. Clark will try to get there. And New England cannot recover before it squirts out of bounds. Asante Samuel forced the fumble. The ball lying there like a piece of gold ready to be recovered, but they couldn't get to it and get possession before it goes out of bounds.
Watch how far off that corner is there, and if that corner is off, they are going to run that comeback all the time.
3rd down.
There was Clark racing in. Artrell Hawkins couldn't get there, and thus Indianapolis retained possession. The ball is at the 19.
You see how far off Asante Samuel was on that last play, and these guys run that comeback pattern better than anyone, and the corners are off again. They were going to get up and jam them and be physical. They haven't been. Look how deep the corners are.
3rd and 3. Sayal blitzes, but he gets picked up, and the pass is incomplete, intended for Dallas Clark. Covered on the play by Chad Scott. So the blitz was on. Manning got rid of it, and at least New England able to limit them to a field goal attempt, and the booing is for Vinatieri as he comes out onto the field.
And Manning was over there booing Dallas Clark for not running the right pattern. But those are the two things that the Patriots try and do, is they want either, hit the receivers and knock their rhythm off, or knock the rhythm off Peyton Manning by getting off his spot, which they did on that one.
Vinatieri, perfect thus far this season. This is a 37-yard attempt, and that kick is no good. So much for what you've done in the past. The crowd goes wild as Vinatieri misses for the first time this season. Indy still by 3. but those lobsters look delicious. Gain of 2 for Corey Dillon. And the ball, without a whistle that we heard, picked up by Raheem Brock as they let it go. And for the moment, you've got Brock going into the end zone. Clearly the kind of play that would have to be challenged. Dillon figuring the play was over. Belichick is just waiting to see if he can see something definitive here. And the crowd is now viewing the replay, as are you. Now the question is he down? Because the officials are late in blowing the flag on a play like that.
It looks like Raheem Brock, as he's tackling him, takes the ball away from him on the way down.
Right.
You know, it's in Brock's left hand right now.
But it's one of those plays, and it's a huge play in the game, that Belichick is compelled to challenge. New England challenges the call. He had a big fumble in this game when these two teams met about a year ago at the end of the first half.
After review, the ball is fumbled. It is then recovered by Indianapolis, and he is down by contact at the 31-yard line. Please reset the game clock to 12:16. New England is not charged with a timeout.
And Winter is right there. You're not charged with a timeout, even though you lost the initial reason for the challenge. The second part of the challenge also gets factored in. So in effect, you lose one, win one, but you're not charged with a timeout. But that's 3 turnovers. And now Manning has the ball again with a short field at the 31-yard line.
Yeah, and that was a heck of a play by Raheem Brock. Defensive linemen are getting so much better at that in this league of, not only tackling the guy, but getting the ball and ripping the ball out as they bring him down.
Dominique Rhodes is the running back. The fake to him. Manning with time. Manning incomplete. Reaching for it is Marvin Harrison, but he couldn't stay in bounds. Ellis Hobbs with the coverage on the play.
Doesn't Peyton Manning look like he just came out here tonight to play catch with Marvin Harrison?
Yeah.
And the way the Patriots are playing him, I mean, he really has this defense on their heels, especially the secondary.
832 times they've linked up. Most in history. 98 touchdown passes, Manning to Harrison, most in history. Second down and 10 from the 31-yard line. Manning under pressure, gets sacked. Second sack of the night for New England. That time Roosevelt Colvin comes in off the edge to get the sack.
Right, Roosevelt Colvin really came in off the edge. I mean, he looked like he was shot out of a cannon off the edge. Watch him. He's right down here at this point. I mean, he comes around. Tariq Glenn just dips his shoulder, and he's right on Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning knew that he had no chance to get anything off on that play.
9-yard sack, 3rd and 19 from the 40-yard line. Manning moves Rhodes to his left. Quick flip, dropped. And they're out of field goal range. So for the first time in the game, we will see a punt.
And I think that was the aggressive defense that Bill Belichick has been looking for all night. Where you get up there and you get on them and you press them, and okay, we fumbled, we had their turnover. Let's go out there defensively.
Indianapolis trying to remain the only undefeated team in the NFL. Bears lost today. Only Indy with a 0 in the Yell column, trying for the second year in a row to get to the halfway mark undefeated. New England trying to go to 7-1. If they win, the winner of this game regardless would be the number 1 seed in the UFC at the halfway mark. 1st and 10. Patriots from the 11-yard line. Brady hit as he throws, gets it off. That'll be a first down. 12-yard gain. Troy Brown, 24-yard line. Let's go to Andrea.
Well, two key defensive players have been, we want to update their injuries for the Colts. Linebacker Gary Brackett has a hamstring injury. They took him to the locker room, and they're calling his return questionable. And as for Rodney Harrison, who hurt his right arm in the first quarter, he went to the locker room, never came out, even though they're still calling his return probable. But don't count on it now.
You just saw Freddie Keahu, number 54. He's a rookie out of San Diego State with Rob Morris inactive. And with Brackett back in the locker room, it is the San Diego State rookie third-round draft choice who sees action here.
Yeah, and he's an outside linebacker. And like you said, Gary Brackett gets hurt. His backup was Rob Morris, and he's not here. He's not active. So Keahu has to come in there. And look at his left wrist. He has the defenses on there. So this is a tough one to have to come in and be the middle linebacker, make the adjustments, make the calls. You better have something written down.
Second down and 11. Freeney gets taken out of the play at the end, and the pass is incomplete.
You know, sometimes you think that the Patriots don't need this. They don't have to, do reverses and screens and stuff. I mean, if they just run right at him, they could be successful. They just hand the ball to Maroney. He'll run. You don't have to fake to Maroney, fake the end around, come back to the screen, because that's the one thing that this Colt defense can defend. They can defend that stuff because they're small, but they're fast.
Great point, especially rookie middle linebacker in. Monty Rager's also not active. He was in an auto accident about 3 weeks ago, starting defensive tackle. Third down and 11. Brady's going to step up, and he's going to try to run for a first down, and all he can do at that point is secure the ball as Cato June tried to get the ball out of Brady's grasp, and Tom is stopped short of the first down. And for the first time in the game, New England will punt.
Yeah, I don't know where they figured out that they needed to trick this defense. I think that they're bigger and stronger, and they could just run right at it, and they're kind of going in a different direction.
Josh Miller will send it skyward toward Terrence Wilkins, and the 11-year veteran, the left-footed kicker, spins one down to the 23. And Wilkins gets corralled at the 26-yard line with 9 minutes and 32 seconds remaining in the third quarter. The Indianapolis Colts 17, the New England Patriots 14.
Al, you want to see something on Peyton Manning that proves you are what you're going to be when you're 11? Look at Peyton Manning throw the ball here as an 11-year-old. Look at that motion. And look at Peyton Manning as an 18-year-old. Look at that motion. Look at Peyton Manning tonight. The same guy, the same motion as he had when he was 11 years old.
He's even doing endorsements when he was 18.
Yep. Archie's son.
We'll see brother Eli next week on Sunday night. Giants and Bears. Now Manning starts to stride from the 26, and falling down was the intended receiver, Adai. Over the middle, he fell down. It'll be second down. They resodded the middle of this field. It was chewed up. It was a sand pit. Put new sod down, but as you can see, plenty of divots already tonight.
Yeah, this field, remember when we were here for the Denver game, that was a mess. Like Tom Brady said, that's the worst that ever was here, was for the Denver game.
Cosmetically, it looks better, but still rough going through the middle. Second down and 10 from the 26. Blitz is picked up. Manning throws and making the catch, spinning around Marvin Harrison. I mean, elegant is the only way to describe him.
Well,
tackled by Hobbs.
Well, you know what he does? He sees the blitz or feels the blitz. So he knows when he has a blitz that he has one-on-one. So when he gets man-to-man, he's just going to throw it to Marvin Harrison because he knows that Marvin Harrison will get open. All he has to do is look off the free safety and then come right to Marvin Harrison. He's going to get the ball for him.
And then put it in the right spot along the sideline where the defender can't get there.
Yeah, Ellis Hobbs didn't have a chance on that one.
First and 10, 45-yard line. Manning pressured, sacked, and that's Mike Vrabel, but the ball comes out then, and it's Ben Utecht, the tight end, and that's going to be a reception as he was able to get it away. Manning, as he's going down in the arms of Vrabel, is able to get it away to the tight end.
Who would have thought that Ben Utek was going to catch that? It looked like it was going to be one of those things where, empty hand rule or tuck rule or something. He comes and throws it, and there's Ben Utek. Everyone's just standing around. Utek, who, of course, is an eligible receiver, catches that ball and gets about 5 yards.
And in the dead right spot. On 2nd and 5, that pass is incomplete, intended for Harrison, who's blanketed by Ellis Hobbs, setting up a 3rd down and 5.
Well, Marvin Harrison doesn't do an awful lot of talking. In fact, he does very little, if any. And he's been talking quite a bit tonight to Ellis Hobbs. You see that umpire just did a backflip or something, or a back roll?
Roy Ellison.
I don't know what the heck that was all about.
Wiping himself off. 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, he went down. He went down and rolled around for a while.
Manning throws, going against the grain, and Dallas Clark makes the catch along the sideline. And Clark will be taken out of bounds, but not before he gets to the 4-yard line. And again, the crowd is just silent.
That will do it. Here's Dallas Clark. He's a slot guy. He's a tight end, but he plays the slot all the time. Falls down, stays alive, and again, Manning scrambles out to his left and throws that ball only where his guy can get it. I mean, that is an amazing throw. I mean, everything that he's done. I don't know how anyone, Al, could not like Peyton Manning the way he plays.
Coleman had the initial coverage. The ball is at the 5. And then Joseph Adai takes it to the 4-yard line. I mean, Peyton he's the whole deal. I mean, you know a lot about him. He's probably, at this point, maybe the most publicized athlete in the NFL, but he's the real deal. You talk to him, and we have the chance to do it every time we do one of their games. You know, the thing is, he answers every question. Now, he's deft and diplomatic, but he will get to the nub of the question.
Right, but he should be the most popular because, he's the best player and the best. Those are the types of guys that should be modeled.
And on 2nd down, he has to throw that away as the pressure comes in from Vrabel.
You don't mean to go overboard, but there's so many negative stories and negative things on players that when you have something positive, and there can be nothing more positive than either one of these quarterbacks. I mean, I have equal respect for both Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, but the league is built on these guys. I mean, this is the core of football. This is what it's all about. And these types of games is what it's all about.
3rd down and goal. Again, a very key defensive stop here for New England. That defense being tested here in the 3rd quarter. Tested here again. And Harrison cannot retain. Yes, he can retain control for the touchdown. Now you're going to get a flag for the spike, which winds up, bounding into the face of either one of the Patriots or the official, and this is going to be very close. It looked like he was juggling it, and clearly if Belichick will challenge this if he sees anything where he feels that Harrison doesn't get both feet down. Can't tell from that angle.
I would take Marvin Harrison on this play. I mean, again, Peyton Manning puts it where only Marvin Harrison can catch it, and only Marvin Harrison can make that catch and keep both feet in bounds.
Well, this has to be challenged. I mean, it's really close because he doesn't have possession yet.
After the play.
There it is. Left foot.
Unsportsmanlike
has a
conduct.
left foot and drags the
Taunting,
has a
number
right
88.
foot and drags the left foot.
That penalty.
Well, you got a taunting call regardless. They will look at it, but he got one foot down, appeared to drag the other with possession. Touchdown or not? Answer when we come back. And the extra point is good as there was no challenge. Vinatieri kicks the extra point. So Belichick told by the guys upstairs, not even worthy of a challenge. And it's 24-14. So the Patriots all looking for a challenge. Everybody thinking Belichick was going to challenge. There was one replay that appeared to show that Harrison had gotten both feet in, but it was close enough that you almost always see that challenge, but there was none. And after the taunting foul, The kickoff comes from the 15-yard line, and now Lawrence Maroney will run it back and get taken down in the open field at the 39-yard line. Jason David with the tackle. Let's go back to the Harrison catch and touchdown.
Well, these two guys, you talk about being in the same page, practicing, and that's why you do all that practicing, because he knows that all he has to do is throw it away from the defender, and then Marvin Harrison is going to make a play on that. So he throws it away from the defender to the outside. Marvin Harrison turns, gets his left hand on it, then his right hand on it, and then keeps both feet in.
Manning to Harrison, that's 99 touchdowns for that pair. And then Watson makes the catch up here at the 46-yard line. So Indianapolis with the biggest lead of the game, 10 points with 6:40 to go in the third.
I think 10 points down, the Patriots can still be patient. I don't think that they have to force anything. I don't think that they have to overreact to being down. I think they can still run the ball. They don't have to get away from the run.
On 2nd and 3, they give it to Maroney. And he gets taken. I thought you made the salient point before, John, about, why trick it up? You're going against a run defense in particular that's been a sieve, a defense that's vulnerable. You go back to the basics. You run your plays, you execute, you can get them.
Yeah, watch Bob Sanders here. Al, Tony Dungy was talking about how he's the eraser. That's how an eraser plays. He said if the linebackers, the front four don't make a play, Bob Sanders will come up, erase it, and make a good play out of a bad defense.
3rd down and 3 out of the shotgun. The Broncos ran for 180 yards in the second half alone last week against the Colts. Brady on a 3rd and 3, throwing. Contact is made. Flags come in from every angle. Interference. Marlon Jackson with the coverage on the play, and the interference on Rashae Caldwell. So Caldwell draws the flag. That'll move the chains. First down.
Defense number 28 penalized at the spot of the foul, and a first down.
Marlon Jackson in the starting lineup. They're minus Mike Doss for the season.
That guy livened the crowd up, didn't it? I mean, this crowd had gone completely quiet.
23-yard penalty. Jackson back at a corner spot where he normally plays. He would have been the safety in Sanders' spot had Sanders not been able to start tonight.
The Patriots have 3 wide receivers in there now, 1 tight end. Kevin Falk is the back.
Meanwhile, Indianapolis moving all over the place defensively, and the clock runs down, and Brady has to take a timeout.
Those are the 2 things I think the Patriots do best offensively is get Tom Brady in the shotgun when you want to throw the ball and spread them out the way they did against Minnesota. And then when you want to run, just run Maroney. We talked to Tom Brady the other day, and one thing, he's a real mechanic. He's always worried about his mechanics. And here, left shoulder tight to the body, look right down the barrel. Right bicep here, close to the right ear. He says you don't want that right bicep out there, and then follow through your right hand to your left pocket. Those are things that he works on all the time. Those are things that he talks about. Those are reminders he has written down to himself, and then those are fundamentals and mechanics you see during the game.
Like 3 swing thoughts. 1st and 10.
Ted Williams used to say you could only have 1.
Yeah, that's what I was in every sport. You have more than 1. At the 31-yard line. Brady over the middle, and that's too high. Intended for Doug Gabriel, who they've kept out of the action tonight. He's been limited to 1 catch early on for 39 yards, the former Raider.
When you play against Dwight Freeney and you're a left tackle, the thing you have to worry about is his spinning. Now watch him, and that's what he does. And you practice the spin all the time. I was watching the Patriots practice on Friday, and they had every defensive lineman just spinning, and they had their offensive lineman working on blocking the spinner.
He hasn't spun that effectively this week, just half a sack. 2nd and 10, and that pass is behind and low. Caldwell, it'll be 3rd down.
The passing game of the Patriots doesn't look as as efficient and proficient as it did the other night. It looks more like, they're still a little out of sync. And I thought that, early in the season they were out of sync, and I felt that, they had gotten in sync, but tonight they don't look like they're really in sync again.
Yeah, they started out in sync early on, scoring all of their points in the second quarter. 3rd down and 10. Now trying to close the gap a little bit, and Brady's arm may have been contacted. Robert Mathis put the pressure on that time, and it will be 4th down and 10.
I think being 10 points down, I think the Patriots kind of overreact to that. I mean, there's plenty of time. I mean, it's the third quarter. There's still 5 minutes 23 seconds in the third period. There's still plenty of time, plenty of football left to be played. You don't have to force any of that.
Steven Gostkowski, the kicker, 4th round draft choice, the guy taking Vinatieri's place. This is going to be a 49-yard attempt. Longest of the season, longest of his young career, obviously, and it's good. That's big on 2 counts. It makes it a 1-possession game at 24-17, and it doesn't give Manning the football at his own 39 with a 10-point lead.
Right, and they know with this defense and the way Peyton Manning is playing and the way Marvin Harrison is going, you don't want to give him anything. Good snap, good hold, good kick.
Inside the right upright with a little bit of a draw. Speaking of draws, that Nick Novak kick for Washington today was just amazing at the end of the game. Just caught the corner.
Right, that whole ending of that game was amazing.
Incredible. It just goes to show you from one week to the next. I mean, Parcells is gloomy Gus against the Giants. Then all of a sudden the season gets resurrected last week. Then you think you got a good chance to win the game today. Then you lose in that manner. Up and down and up and down.
That's the definition of coaching in the NFL, up and down.
This is Terrence Wilkins from the 3-yard line, and Wilkins with a big run back and then loses the ball. Gostkowski is there contending New England has it. There's also a penalty marker down at the 37-yard line. Artrell Hawkins, number 25, created the fumble. New England comes up with the ball, and let's see about the penalty flag at the 37.
I bet the penalty flags are probably against the Colts, though.
Normally, it's against the receiving team. You got Hawkins knocking it out.
During the return, holding number 50 of the return team. But penalties decline. New England has recovered the fumble. 1st down.
Rocky Boyman with the penalty.
Yeah, Artrell Hawkins comes in and just strips the ball out. Watch Wilkins. He doesn't see him. He comes in from his right side and his backside. He's looking ahead and to his outside, and he doesn't feel or see Artrell Hawkins come in. Now, Hawkins not only knocks the ball out, but then he recovers the fumble right there.
Great play. Forced fumble recovery. The ball is at the 46-yard line. Brady down by 7 points. Starts this drive by handing the ball off to Corey Dillon, who fights his way for a 9-yard gain to the 37-yard line.
And you feel like the Patriots could have done that all the time, just run right at him, and they did that a little early, and then they got away from it. They tried to do some other things, and I think if they just get back to basic fundamental football, just go right at this Colt team, they're going to find something good.
And build a rushing game as well. Dillon averaging 4 yards a carry. Maroney is averaging 4.4. New England has rushed for 118 yards. They'll add a few here on the Maroney run for a 1st down. The rookie from the University of Minnesota to the 33-yard line.
That's what we're always talking about, a game and offense is big and defense is big, and we always throw in special teams too, but no one really pays that much attention to it. But special teams, can win games for you, and that could be the play that turns this thing around for the Patriots.
Huge
Artrell
play.
Hawkins' play.
Yep. Hawkins, the fumble by Wilkins. It's only the 5th turnover of the season for the Indianapolis Colts. 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles by the offense, and now this. 1st and 10 from the 33-yard line. And that is Kevin Falk, who gets planted by the rookie Freddie Keaho. And Keaho playing with Gary Brackett hurt. Starting middle linebacker on the shelf at the moment.
And Tom Brady was having success early with that on first down. When the Colts bring their safety up, when they get Bob Sanders, they have the 8 men up. Usually the corners are off, and they're in a cover 1 or a cover 3, and the play action pass and the throws to the outside receivers have been successful in that.
2nd and 7, and getting tripped up in the backfield with a flag. Corey Dillon. That was Raheem Brock who came in and knocked him down in the backfield.
Yeah, and they were trying to wham him on that one. Remember, we showed that wham block earlier.
Defense number 79. A 10-yard penalty that results in a first down.
Raheem Brock, who made the tackle, but he made it by tripping the ball carrier.
He made the tackle, and he was the guy that got whammed, too. And he's a guy that they've been whamming the whole time. And again, the wham is when the tight end right here comes in and makes a block. Now, Raheem Brock got a lot of penetration on that. He got whammed. He goes down to take on the wham and then kicks his foot out at the ball carrier. Yeah, that is tripping.
And it's a 1st down and 10 now for the Patriots. At the 21-yard line. Under 3 minutes to play. 3rd quarter. 4-man rush. Over the middle. Dillon makes the catch. Corey taken down by Gardner at the 16-yard line.
You play the Colt defense, and most of the time, on passing downs, they're going to play that Tampa 2, and they really take away your outside receivers, and you have to work the middle. You have to work the middle to the backs, to the tight end, those kinds of things like Brady's doing right now.
2nd down, 5 from the 16. Maroney loses the ball, but the whistle had blown. Bob Sanders made the tackle. He was down.
Boy, that Bob Sanders is something. I mean, Tony Dungy said he was an eraser. They didn't know if he was going to be able to play. They worked him out before the game and said that he was okay. But when he comes, he really comes. I mean, if you want to play safety and you're going to be the 8th man up, you do it like Bob Sanders. Holy moly.
Difference maker.
No, that is big. It reminded me a few weeks ago when we did a Denver game, we had John Lynch making plays like that. Bob Sanders is in that class.
5'8", 206. Small, but plays huge. 3rd and 7. Brady throws, tipped away. That time it is Antoine Bethea who made an interception in the first half and ran it after him about 7 yards into the end zone. The rookie from Howard University, on a pass intended for David Thomas.
The reason David Thomas is in there, you see they have him in the slot. They're playing with 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, and that was just good coverage. I mean, Brady thought he had him, and he would have had him had he let him a little more.
Now Gostowski with the silent first K, 36-yard field goal attempt. And after he makes a 49-yarder, he doesn't come close on a 36-yarder.
He looked like he did a flop, like he went up there to kick that thing and just flopped. Listen how quiet this crowd. How many people does this one hold?
This is close to 70.
70,000 people. How can 70,000 people be this quiet?
Air came out of it. Bob Kraft looking up for the replay along with his son Jonathan, and it might have something to do with the new sod in the middle of the field.
That's probably what Bob Kraft is thinking. Oh, I don't know about that. That's just a bad kick. I mean, you can't make any excuses for that one. I think he just did a flop after a bad kick.
Right. To make it look like he had a problem with the field.
Yeah, a flop of embarrassment.
From the 26-yard line on first down. That's a 2-yard gain here for Dominique Rhodes, tackled by Mike Vrabel as we approach the final minute of the third quarter. The Colts trying to stay undefeated. Indy would be 8-0. New England, if they win, would be 7-1 and would own the number 1 seed at the moment by virtue of a win over the Colts.
You know, if you had to put a name on this third quarter, I think it would be missed opportunities.
Yeah. On both ends, 2nd down and 7. Manning to the outside, and that is caught by Reggie Wayne. Asante Samuel with the coverage. AFC's best as the season comes up to the halfway mark. Indy undefeated. Then there's New England. They'll either be 6-2 or 7-1. And then you have Denver, Baltimore, and San Diego, all 6-2. Denver beating Pittsburgh today. Baltimore knocking off Cincinnati. San Diego took the measure of Cleveland. Manning. Nice little slip move, and then the pass is incomplete. Intended for Wayne. Coverage there by Samuel. 22 seconds. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
You know, I was saying earlier, I think one of the most underrated areas of both of these teams, and we talk about the quarterbacks and the wide receivers, but these offensive linemen, and you know this Colt offensive lineman, they have a lot of pressure on them because they play that slot and they don't get a lot of help, and they have to stand in there and pass protect. They do a great job.
Rhodes on 2nd and 7 churns his way for a gain of 3 to the 43, and that will take us to the fourth quarter. End of the third quarter in Foxborough as they work on Mathis. The Indianapolis Colts 24, the New England Patriots 17. NBC's Sunday Night Football back after these messages from your local station.
Show me what you got, shawty. Show me what you got, baby. Hands up and wave what you got.
Fourth quarter ready to begin in Foxborough, Mass. Al Michaels with John Madden, Andrea Kramer. A look at the numbers for the two guys tonight. Manning at 272 yards, Brady at 157. 7-point game. It is 3rd down and 7 for the Colts at their own 43-yard line on the first play of the fourth quarter. Manning under pressure, flag down. Wayne, the intended receiver. Samuel with the coverage, flag at the 48-yard line of the Patriots, and the indication is against the Patriots.
Do you see who was out there playing defense?
Troy Brown?
Yeah, he's out there.
There he is, yep.
You know that they'll go as many as 7 and 8 defensive backs.
Illegal use of hands to the face. Defense, number 80.
Oh, that's who it was.
5-yard penalty and a first down.
Now we know he's out there for sure.
Right, and you know on offense they always play him in a slot. So when he plays defense, they put him on the slot guy, figuring that one knows one. And then he just grabbed him right off the bat. He's okay there. The coverage really isn't bad, but I think he had you could jam him on the line and in the first 5 yards, but you can't grab him.
Colts first down, 48-yard line. Manning to the outside, and this time he hooks up with Ben Utek, the number 2 tight end, and that will be a first down. And that's Howard Mudd, the assistant coach, longtime ex-49er years ago. Howard gets up and says, "I can take anything."
He's a good guy, and he's a good line coach. I was talking about how this offensive line is protected for Peyton Manning, and Howard Mudd has been their coach for a long time, and they had the constant of Peyton Manning, Tom Moore, the offensive coordinator, Howard Mudd, the offensive line coach.
At the 37-yard line, and this is a dive showing his prowess as the number 1 draft choice, the rookie out of LSU, and that's a 15-yard gain for Joseph Adai.
Joseph Adai shows 2 things here. One, that he can pick a hole. I mean, he goes there, he bounces right, he bounces left, and the other thing, right here at the end, he can finish off a run. That is the way to finish off the run when the tacklers are going backwards.
Ball now at the 23-yard line. fake to a dive. Pressure, and then he is sacked coming in from behind. Roosevelt Coleman. And again, Peyton Manning all season long had been sacked just 7 times or once a game. And tonight, that is the 3rd time he's gone down.
Yeah, Rosie Colvin has really provided a lot of speed from this end. I mean, here he is right here, the outside guy, and he has that quickness. I mean, that was just a speed rush right around Dallas Clark. But usually when he has a speed rush, he'll dip that inside shoulder and come with that speed. That time, he just ran right around Dallas Clark.
2nd down and 17 from the 30-yard line. Manning over the middle, and that's intercepted by Chad Scott. Out past the 25, the 40, and finally taken down by Dallas Clark at the 45-yard line. So Chad Scott in the lineup, came in after the injury, knocked Rodney Harrison out of the game with a big pick.
And the Patriots got back to their aggressive defense. Colvin makes the sack, then boom, they come right back with the interception.
I've hit him many times over my career, and he can't really shake him too much. He's going to be there, and he's going to keep on fighting. He's a competitor, so we just got to keep after it, and we just got to do what we do.
Freeney talking about Tom Brady, who was 16 out of 26 for 157 tonight, 2 interceptions. Manning just threw that interception. That's only the 3rd interception of the season against Manning. He's thrown the ball 275 times, and the pressure put on that time by Freeney. So we have Freeney talking about him. The play is whistled dead, so you've got Freeney, one of the rare times this season he's been able to come in almost unimpeded and nearly got the sack.
Yeah, he did come unimpeded. You'd think that they'd know where Dwight Freeney was. No one blocked him on that play. You see Matt Light is going out. It's going to be a screen pass to his side, and he should bump him before he goes out. You see, it's going to be they fake to the right, and then they're going to come back. And this is the type of stuff that, again, I don't think they need against this defense. But I think they could just go and pound them, but then go play action pass. I don't know that they need to fake one way and screen back. They've just gotten in trouble with that stuff.
Brady sure doesn't need that. And that is tipped and then intercepted, and that's Cato June, who picks off the deflected pass and is tackled at the 44-yard line. It may have been Robert Mathis, the defensive end, getting a hand on it. But the interception by June, the assist, we believe, goes to Mathis, and that's the 3rd pick against Brady tonight.
And the Colts are doing a lot better a job of that now, is not only getting pressure on Brady, but getting their hands up. Last week I watched the Colts, and they never got their hands up on their pass rush, but they are now, and that's what Robert Mathis does. You come in, you get that inside on that tackle, and then you just get your right hand up in that lane that he's trying to throw in.
Funny, the first half pretty much all offense until the waning moments of it, and now the defense is beginning to assert themselves in the second half.
I was just going to say, don't you feel that both defenses have just kind of woken up?
Yeah, they're saying we're here too, by the way, at the 46-yard line. No gain there. Patriots tonight making a lot of uncharacteristic mistakes. 4 times they've turned it over. Missed field goal, and 7 penalties as well.
Yeah, that's what kills good teams too, and that's what brings them down to average. You look at the Chicago Bears and all the turnovers they had in them, and they were one of the 2 undefeated teams. They and the Colts, and they had all those turnovers, and now they have 1 loss.
2nd and 10, 46-yard line. And that pass intended for Harrison is incomplete. Ellis Hobbs, as usual, with the coverage on the play.
That's been a pretty good battle. I mean, Marvin Harrison is going to win a big percentage of those battles out there, but I will say this, that Ellis Hobbs is giving them a battle. Because if they want to put pressure on Peyton Manning, then they have to leave their corners man-to-man. They're not on this down.
Crowd rising on a 3rd and 10 from the 46.
They're going deep now. They got the 2 safeties deep, and they have Junior Seau bailing out in the middle.
Manning under pressure, throws, and then is caught by Ben Utek. And Peyton Manning, as he loves to do, gets up on those toes, just moving around on the toes, throws over the top, hits Utek, quiets the crowd on a huge third down conversion.
You know what he does? He says that he moves his eyes and his feet at the same time. Watch how he just keeps his eyes downfield. He's looking, and then he has a clock in his head, and he knew, okay, I looked enough. Now I better get rid of this ball.
At the 30-yard line. Manning is over 300 yards tonight, 303. Here's a dive. Strange that you would think that Peyton Manning would have had back-to-back 300-yard games at some point in his career, as a flag comes in, 2 flags at the end of the play. But this is the first time he's thrown for 300 or more in 3 consecutive games. Late hit on Roosevelt Colvin coming up here.
I was saying, you wonder why he's throwing to Ben Utek. They use a lot of 2 tight ends, and Dallas Clark plays the slot.
Number 59 defense after the play was over. 15-yard penalty. First down.
We felt that the defenses were coming on, that they were getting more aggressive and doing that, but watch Colvin come in there right in front of the official. I think he's trying to get back at someone. I think he saw something happen first, and he was the second guy in when he did that. I mean, to do something like that, you probably shouldn't do it anyway, but if you do it, you don't want to do it right in front of an official, do you? And
he knew it immediately. He knew he'd done something bad. Then he begins to plead whatever case he was pleading. 1st and 10. It's the 5th Colt first down by way of a penalty tonight. And against New England, that's 8 penalties for 81 yards.
And this is a big drive here. I know that most of the time you go and you say we have to get a touchdown here. I think now a field goal would be a big play. Not that you play for a field goal, but the worst thing would be a turnover, and of course the best thing would be a touchdown. But the next best thing would be a field goal and put you up 10 points.
2-possession game. It would make it 2nd down and 8 from the 13-yard line. Manning drifting to his left, and that one is almost picked off by Colvin, intended for Reggie Wayne.
I think that this is a shot here now where you get 3rd and long, that you take a shot at the end zone, and you do one of those things where either your guy gets it or no one gets it, and then you kick the field goal.
Manning tonight on 3rd down. 5 first downs.
But, because again, and I said this in the first quarter, that, he's one of the few quarterbacks, this is one of the few offenses where they're not afraid to go vertical with the ball.
Dungy came trotting down the sideline to take a timeout prior to the 3rd and 8. So coming up now, a 3rd down and 8 at the New England 13-yard line. 10:26 remaining in the 4th quarter. Colts on top by 7. Manning taking the snap out of the shotgun. Under pressure. And off the fingertips of Reggie Wayne. The heat was put on that time. Jarvis Green was the first guy to get to him, and they'll have to settle for a field goal attempt.
Yeah, and that's what I think the Colts had to do. It was 3rd down, and you just go and you take one shot, and then you get your field goal. Watch Jarvis Green here. He's a right end. He's just taking a hard inside. The tackle steps out. He's just working against the guard. He gets on his outside shoulder.
31-yard attempt. They've been booing Vinatieri since the start of the game. Smith puts it down, and the kick is good. So it becomes a 2-possession game with 10:17 remaining in the 4th quarter. Set up on the interception, the 3rd of the night, thrown by Tom Brady. Vinatieri cashes in for the tray, 27-17. 31 degrees.
And that's what happens to you when you sweat in 31 degrees. Steam comes right out of your head.
It's a dry cold tonight, and there's no wind, fortunately, as Maroney runs the kick back to the 39-yard line. 10-11 remaining in the fourth quarter. Well, when you win 3 Super Bowl titles, you get a few perks. Brady and Belichick side by side in the parking lot. And now Brady will try to lead him back down by 10. And he begins this drive with the pass to Doug Gabriel. Played his college ball at Central Florida. Came over in a trade with the Raiders, but they've really pretty much taken him out of the game tonight. That's only his second catch of the evening.
Yeah, I still think that the Patriots can run the ball. I mean, I don't think that they have to abandon the run. I mean, they're down by 10, but I think the run will make the Colts play a different defense. I think they'll play action pass.
2nd and 4, fake toss, and then they run it, and they give the ball to Kevin Falk. He'll take it across the 50-yard line into Indianapolis territory to the 45-yard line.
I think they're in a position here with over 9 minutes and needing 2 scores. They still have plenty of time, and they don't have to press. They can still have balance in their offense. They don't have to become one-dimensional, and against this Colt defense, you don't want to be one-dimensional.
1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. 9 minutes left in regulation. They give it to Maroney. Maroney's going to get the first down. And a 17-yard gallop for Maroney, who so signals first down, finally tackled by Cato June.
Yeah, this is the thing. We were talking about, a wrinkle, and watch this wham again. It's a thing that the Patriots have been doing all night. You let that inside tackle go, and then you bring the tight end across, and you block them. It's kind of a bluff type thing, a trap type thing. But when a tight end does it, we call it wham.
146 yards on the ground tonight for New England. Now Brown makes the catch, and Harper is right there along with June and Gardner to make the tackle. That's a gain of 6. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
Yeah, this is where offenses kind of earn the title of champion. I think quarterbacks earn the right to be called the best quarterback in football. And when you get in these situations and you can make plays, like anyone could do it in the first quarter, anyone could do it in practice. It's doing it in the fourth quarter when you need plays to win the game.
Fourth quarter comebacks. We look at that list, and all the guys at the top are either in the Hall of Fame or going there. 2nd down and 4 at the 22-yard line. Brady gets it off, and the catch is made by Watson, and Watson was trailed by Mathis, and Mathis will go down and needs to come out for at least a play.
Yeah, Mathis, remember when he was the pass rush specialist, and he made so many big plays as a 3rd down defensive lineman that then they made him a starter, and he plays every down, but he can rush or drop if they run a zone dog, and that's what he was doing on that play.
Josh Thomas comes in to sub for him. 7 minutes remaining. 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line.
He started audible, then changed it, started all over again.
Snapped it at 1 on the play clock. And the pass intended for Watson is incomplete. And a flag is down. Freddie Keaho, the rookie linebacker, with the coverage.
Defense number 54 penalized at the spot of the foul, and a first down.
And that was Keaho who was signaled for the penalty.
You're going to see Freddie Keaho is right here. And you see him hitting there. And again, the hit was okay because it was in the first 5 yards, but it was the hold after the hit that got Freddie.
Got to release him. 1st and goal. Falk backs his way down to the 8-yard line.
When you have Falk in there, you darn near have to run a draw, because if you're really going to run the ball, Dillon and Maroney are the two runners, and then they put Kevin Falk in as the passer, the third down guy. So really, if he's going to run the ball, his plays are draw plays. Now they got two tight ends, two wide receivers, and one back in there. They've been playing two tight ends a lot.
Maroney's the back. Brown will sit up on the right side. Brady takes the snap out of the shotgun. Lofts it to the corner, and that's incomplete, intended for David Thomas. So it'll be third down and goal now from the 8-yard line.
Yeah, I think this is where you have a problem, not having a favorite receiver or a go-to guy that maybe you want to spread it around, maybe you want to throw it to 10 receivers during the game, and that's fine. But I think once you get in this red area, the red zone, I think you have to have a favorite guy or a go-to guy that you feel can make that big play for you.
He's completed passes to 8 different guys tonight. From the gun, third and goal from the 8. 4-man rush. Brady steps away, and then the pass is incomplete, intended for Falk. Falk started to look upfield before he looked it in at the 3-yard line, and it's fourth down. Well, you needed 2 scores. Clearly, they would have preferred to get the touchdown and be down by 3, but at least here, field goal will make it a one-possession game.
Right, you hate to get this close and then not get the touchdown, but as you say, you need a 7 and 3, so take your 3 now, and then the next time you're going to have to get your 7.
The rookie Steven Gostowski for a 26-yard attempt. Miller puts it down. And the kick splits the uprights. So we're back to a one-possession game. 6:01 left in the fourth. Indy trying to stay undefeated, up by 7. We have 6 minutes and 1 second remaining in regulation. Belichick and Brady conferring on the bench. Manning ready to go back to work.
Belichick better be talking to his defense.
Yeah. The 14-yard line. Wilkins turns it back upfield. And Wilkins, who is right near the sideline, turns it into a good run back. Chilly Sunday night, 1st and 10. 39-yard line for Manning and the Colt offense. 3-yard gain for Joseph Adai. Indy tonight just 48 yards on the ground. New England 148 yards on the ground.
Knowing Peyton Manning and Tom Moore, the offensive coordinator, I don't think that they're going to feel satisfied with a 7-point lead and just run the ball, take some time off the clock and punt it. I think they're going to go for another score here.
2nd and 7. They're running the no huddle, but they're also running the clock milking no huddle right now, just trying to pick up some first downs. And there's one as he goes to his main man, Mr. Marvin Harrison, across the 50 to the 48-yard line. And Marvin Harrison tonight has caught 8 passes for 145 yards.
Yeah, when you talk about the great wide receivers, the top wide receivers in the NFL, where do you put Marvin Harrison?
You put him right near the top. There's no question.
Yeah, I think you can put him right on the top. I mean, he just does it all the time, and it's not only catching deep passes and touchdowns, but it's doing plays like that. Catching slants, catching crosses, doing those kinds of things.
From the 48, and this is Adai turning the corner and turning what might have been a small loss into a little bit of a gain of about 2, and staying inbounds as well, which is important. Looking ahead, New England has 2 timeouts, as does Indianapolis.
I think they want to save those. I mean, if they could get off the field here, if they could stop the Colts, make them punt because they're not in field goal range, or if they don't get a first down, wouldn't be in field goal range, then they could use their timeouts after that.
Big series for Indianapolis. If they can get the first down, they'll almost compel New England to use their timeouts on defense. 2nd and 8. And Manning throws a wobbler, and coming back to make the catch is Ben Utek. So a little bit of a duck, may have been deflected. Manning going down, and Utek comes back, and it's a 13-yard gain and a clock-milking first down.
Yeah, we were talking about Utek earlier, and you can see that Teddy Bruschi there is on him. He gives him a little move to the inside, then he goes outside. Peyton Manning knows that. Peyton Manning gets hit just as he throws it. That's why it looked like a duck. But that duck did get there. Oh, yeah. He had someone hanging right on his right shoulder. That was a big first down.
Oh, huge. He's now, New England, forced to think about using their timeouts. Maybe on this side of the 2-minute warning. You got a die going on the 31-yard line. They look over toward Belichick. When do you want to use them?
I was talking about Ben Utek, and of course he's been in there the whole time because he's the real tight end, and then the other tight end, Dallas Clark, has been a slot all night. So it looks like 3 wide receivers, but the Colts have been playing all night really with 2 tight ends.
And after about 5 seconds of hesitation, a little consultation with the guys upstairs, Belichick decides to use the first of his 2 remaining timeouts here. So he has 1. The clock will also stop at the 2-minute warning. But the game is now in Manning's hands. If he can keep moving it down and moving the chains, they'll take it right down to the end of the game. Tonight, Tom Brady, there are his numbers. Those 3 interceptions looming large. Manning tonight, 326 yards, 2 touchdowns. Marvin Harrison, 2 TD grabs, 99 now from Manning in his career. And the Patriots with not only 4 turnovers, but 8 penalties for 81 yards.
You know, it's something when you're playing against the Colts, so you know that the Patriots are down by 10, so you say, okay, you take the 3, get the 7 next time. With the Colts offense and Peyton Manning, there might not be no next time.
Right. 2nd down and 7. They're already within field goal range for Vinatieri. Here's a die. And the die is going to take it to the 27-yard line. And New England will use its final timeout here.
What I like about a die is he finishes off his runs. I mean, he's a tough runner, and Peyton Manning is really impressed with him. He said he's a good blocker, and he really enjoys that part of it. And Peyton said he used to point. He said he used to, he was worried about pass protection. He would point like this, for a die. He'd point, that's the guy you block. You have him. And finally a die said, hey, you don't have to point to me anymore. I know who to block. And Peyton said because the team, every time he would point, it would be pass protection. And the guy said, everyone knows it's a pass when you do that. So you don't have to do that for me anymore.
Have you ever met a guy who really understood the game in all facets, as much as Peyton Manning while he was playing?
No. I was with Peyton Manning a year ago at an event, and I talked to him for over an hour. And after I was finished talking with him, I thought that I was talking to like half player, half coach. Half the time I felt like I was talking to player Peyton Manning, and half the time I thought I was talking to Don Shula or someone.
Well, here's your ball game for New England. They give up the first down. Manning's going to be able to run the clock out. Can they make him settle for a field goal attempt? Yes, they can. So at least they're going to stay in the game, though if Vinatieri can now kick what will amount to about a 45-yard field goal, it's going to be a 2-possession game, and New England's going to have no timeouts. But this will take us to the 2-minute warning. Then they'll bring in Vinatieri, and then what New England's going to need are 2 scores, either a 3 and a 7 or a 7 and a 3 with an onside kick somewhere in between.
How about they block the field goal?
Oh, that's another possibility.
That's what they have to do. They could block the field goal, or maybe Vinatieri will miss another one.
Their fans are thinking right now, let us pray. 2-minute warning. A lot of excitement surrounding that one. Meadowlands a week from tonight. But right now, Adam Vinatieri, who missed one earlier, the first miss of the season, one of the great clutch kickers in history, for what will be a 46-yard attempt to make it a 2-possession game. If he misses, then New England would have the ball at its own 36-yard line with a little less than 2 minutes to play, no timeouts.
but they would only need one score. I mean, that's a big thing. I think that the Patriots have to put as much pressure on this field goal block as they can muster.
So Vinatieri, a hero here for so many years, trying to play the role of villain. Smith puts it down, and Vinatieri's kick is no good. Who would have figured Adam Vinatieri, having a perfect year, would come back to New England and miss 2 attempts?
That's why you play this game.
And Bob Kraft saying, see, I told you we didn't need to sign him.
Well, he's saying that, we have to go get 7 points now. And had he made that, we'd need 2 scores. Now we just need 1 score, and that's why we're paying Tom Brady all that money. That's what this game had to come down to. We talked about this earlier. Last guy that has the ball.
Yep. And it may come down to that. The ball at the 36-yard line. Brady throws, and the catch is made by Ben Watson. Watson inside the 40. They'll spot the ball at the 39-yard line. No timeouts. 25-yard gain. 136 and ticking down. And even without a timeout, that's a ton of time for Tom Brady.
Yeah, he has plenty of time, and now they're in the no huddle, and Tom Brady's playing like Peyton Manning.
Over the middle, tipped, and then intercepted. It was intercepted by Cato June. Kevin Falk couldn't hold on. So again, Falk, who dropped a pass earlier in a goal-to-go situation, and they had to settle for a field goal, can't hold on here. Brady is just on his 4th interception of the game, and that ties a career high for Brady in that department, and Peyton Manning and company can run out the clock and go to the halfway pole undefeated.
And Kevin Falk is such a reliable guy, and that ball was right there, and it just went right through his hand. Cato June was right there waiting for it. Watch as Brady makes a good read, has the guy in the middle, boom, right through his hands.
And without a timeout, Manning with a couple of kneel downs can end it. And think about these Colts, 8-0. Last week they go to Denver. Denver had the #1 ranked defense in the league. It allowed only 2 touchdowns all season. They come in here against a very tough New England defense. They run up 27 points. So they're in the middle of a tough stretch. And no team in the history of the league had won back-to-back games, both on the road, against teams with at least 5 wins and no more than 1 loss. But that is exactly what the Colts are going to do.
Yeah, we saw that graphic there where the Patriots had 5 turnovers. That, again, no matter how good you are, how bad the other team is, there's no way you can win with 5 turnovers.
And so the Colts are 8-0, and now people will begin to think, as they did last year, can they run the table? They're the only undefeated team. Chicago losing to Miami today. They go home to the Colts to take on the Buffalo Bills next week, then at Dallas, and then Philadelphia at Indy in 3 weeks as they head down the stretch. But right now they have a 2-game lead over everybody else in the division, plus head-to-head wins over New England and Denver, each with a mark of 6-2. And the Patriots will have to regroup as they will stay home next week and take on the New York Jets. Sirius Satellite Radio post-game report coming right up.